Alright, it looks like... Okay, we're on. We are live. Let's wait like a good minute for people to pop in. How the fuck do I get the link? Okay, here it is. Copy video URL. Let's spam this all over the place. Let me
I'm
just...
gonna send it to all my friends.
There you go.
I can talk a moment.
So, let's spam this to everyone we know. Or fuck it, you guys can look at my Steam account for a second while I spam it everywhere.
What the hell is this paper?
Paper, that's her notes. Who else do I know I could throw this in? Fuck it, let's do a status. How the fuck do I do that? Okay, set custom status. Clear in 4 hours. Save. Alright, let me pull this back. Let me click on this so you can see my stupid
Why
face.
is it age restricted?
Because we're talking about masturbating, dude. Or not masturbating. It's...
No, I know, but
The
like...
industry.
I feel like just talking about pornography and masturbation isn't, like...
Everyone should know about this.
I don't want to get cucked by
Like,
Susan
what is
and her
this-
weird YouTube shit.
This server isn't 18 plus, so neither should the video.
That's a good
I mean,
point.
we're so small that she's not gonna. I mean, they're
Yeah.
not gonna go after us.
Oh, fuck, I don't know how to
Damn
change it.
I can't.
You guys don't lie about your ages? What the fuck's wrong with you?
Yeah, I did, so I'm guessing most people
Hold
did.
on. Let me switch my YouTube account. See if I.
We got one person in here. Age restricted. Yeah, of course it's fucking age restricted. The fuck, guys?
Where's
Come
the
on.
link?
I spammed it, I think. It should be... Fuck.
Oh, I see
Tart.
it. You're good.
Yeah, Tart, can you do an announcement?
Yeah.
Just at everyone. So, we're gonna shoot for like an hour. Give or take. 40 minutes to an hour, that's the time. I don't want to go over.
My friends can't watch it.
Okay, you want me to do... Okay, edit. Let's edit it. Let's edit it. Yes, it's not made for kids. Yes, okay, no, don't restrict it. There, you should be
Is this
fine.
the second podcast?
This is the second one we've done ever, yes.
Alright, cool.
Don't ask where the first one is. Just don't. Was that it? Was that the announcement?
Yeah.
We got 5 people in here. And we want to start our discussions. I think so. Oh, we got 7 people. All right, we're good to go. So let's all do introductions of ourselves. I'll start. I'm Miles. I'm the autistic Neanderthal in the chat all the time. Yeah, why don't you start, Persephone?
Me? Hi, I'm Persephone, and I don't know what I am. Hi.
I'm Revolver, you guys know what I am.
We know what you are. Not who you are, what you are.
Yay.
What you are is what some people would say, yeah.
What about you, Tarpy boy?
I'm Tarp. I don't want to disclose my real name for legal reasons.
Same dude.
Nice.
Persephone isn't
Not for
mine.
legal reasons, though.
Miles is my first name. I'm retarded. I can't have a different username. It just bugs me. All right, so we wanted to talk about the porn industry, or the effects of porn, or something.
Yeah, just like pornography in general, yeah.
Yeah. So Persephone has prepared a shitload of points and ideas on an anti-porn stance. So should we get into that? Do you want to talk first,
Yeah.
Persephone?
Yes! Oh my god. Okay, sorry. Okay, so the first and like most important point in the porn industry is that there's a lot of sex trafficking that goes on, like child trafficking and just like normal trafficking. And it's just like, oh my god, the child trafficking. And then Oh god, I didn't think about this. Oh, sorry.
There's only 10
Child-
viewers. It's not that
child
professional.
I know, but so sex trafficking, child trafficking, children in the
Children.
porn industry, and they could either like film stuff as their children, or they could groom the children, and y'all know what grooming is.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Groom the child and thinking it's like normal and stuff until they're like of age, and then they force it into like making videos and stuff for them anyway. Like, and then once they're groomed like that, they can't leave if they ever find out what they're doing is wrong, and if they want to leave, they just can't. Like, an example I wrote down was Mia Khalifa. Like, everyone knows her, and everyone knows how like, well, she went in willingly, but now she wants to leave, and she can't. She
Right.
wants to leave because she's not making the money she's supposed to be making for her videos. They're not paying her everything. They're like
Right.
scamming her out of it. And she can't leave because her family disowned her after she went to the industry.
Oh
and-
shit, yeah.
Yeah, so it's like it's bad. She can't.
Wait, she wants to leave what? Like the porn
She-
industry?
Yeah, she wants to leave the industry and live a normal life.
Or she
And
wants
she
her videos deleted.
I don't know about the videos. I feel like if she wants to live a normal life, she would have to have the videos deleted, but
Yeah.
the fact that she can't leave in general, it's just so sad. And then things to go along with that is like with videos, there's a lot of rape, revenge porn,
Yeah.
pedophilia type videos. Oh god. Okay. So wait, I have a story about the revenge porn. I have a friend and she was raped when she was like not even 10 years old yet.
Right.
And then she had many videos like blasted all over the hub.
Right.
And who knows how many people could have watched those videos, gone off to those videos, downloaded those videos. And it's just and then she messaged the hub, okay? She's like
Right.
20 something right now. She messaged the hub after years, and they still haven't answered her or like said anything. It's been like I think she emailed them about like 6 months ago, and they still haven't messaged back. She just
Right.
keeps emailing them, and they're not doing anything. They're not taking the videos down. It's a literal child getting raped in their videos, and they just let that on there and they won't even take it down. It's like disgusting.
Yeah, that's fucking horrible.
And like along with terrible videos that the hub just allows and posts, there's a lot of racism in the industry as well. Because of like actors and stuff. Well, not because of the actors, but racism like fetishizing. I don't know why I would.
Yeah, it's like fetishized.
Yeah.
Yeah. But there's also the kind of racism where it's like an actor can go into the industry and they sign what they are willing to do and what they're not willing to do. And there is this actor I read that signed she doesn't want to do anything with black men, which like kind of weird, but she doesn't want to do it. But she was forced into doing it anyways, or else they'd like blackmail her. So
Yeah.
that's also like
Was that the one that
kind
committed suicide?
gross.
Or was that a different one?
I don't know. God, if it's a different one, oh, it happened twice.
I don't know. Or it's like something. No, I think the one I'm thinking of, like there was an actor who didn't want to do something because one of the dudes had AIDS,
Oh
and then,
yeah.
like she got bullied into killing herself or something. I didn't really follow that.
Oh, she didn't want to have
Oh.
sex with gay actors or like bi actors.
Or something like
That's
that.
so sad.
A little.
And,
Yeah.
The racism also links with like hurtful standards and stuff, because say someone's like in a relationship with a white female, but then he gets off to like Asian porn.
Right.
Like, how are you? That's That's hurtful. Your partner can't do anything about it because she can't just turn herself Asian for you to like sexually please you or anything. And also with the standards, there's like the beauty the beauty standard in porn is literally like no body hair, pink nipples, and stuff like that. That's like literally a child. Or you can get like surgery for it or anything.
Well, I mean,
But, like,
most of the women probably have had surgery or have used drugs to help them look better.
Most definitely.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think
Like, the standards.
like the acting standards that they have kind of influence sexuality, since people are getting into porn more and more young, like getting into consuming it more and more young, that they don't
Yeah.
like that their first sexual experience is through that, so that they learn to sexualize whatever's on there, like they learn whatever they view in porn to be the normal. That's just my little interjection. Continue on.
No, but that's like
Yeah.
right because they learn how to treat women because it's like it's acting, but it like somehow like messes with their brain and thinks like treating women that way is like normal and that's how they want to be treated.
Right.
Especially in like the BDSM thing where it's
Oh
like
god, that's
they're
fucking
constantly
terrifying.
getting hit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Gross.
that's it. In my experience, with the place I live, the whole BDSM thing is so disgustingly openly popular. Like people, I see people like my friends on Facebook, like people I've like gone to elementary school with and shit. Like they're all posting weird BDSM shit and like talking about it, and like posting themselves in like the fucking gear that they have, and like talking about that stuff openly. And there's actually a sex shop in town that sells that stuff, that like specializes in that stuff, and it's just open all the time. And I just see people casually walk in, and it's just so fucking disgusting. Like it's just so uncomfortable.
I mean, in
I
some ways, it's people can do what they want. I don't mind.
Yeah,
Like
of
some people
course.
might have that, but I mean, porn will literally change your sexuality. Like you'll start
Yeah.
being attracted to things that you were never attracted to,
Right. It's
and
just
you'll
like
have insane standards for women.
it's like
also I feel
yeah.
like it's not disgusting, but it's something that should be more like in your private life.
Yeah.
It's more of an intimate thing, and the fact that they're posting about it all over the internet makes it less intimate. It makes it have less meaning, which is kind of sad.
It's
I
just
only,
like
I
oh,
only,
go ahead.
I only partially agree with that.
What?
I want to interject here. Like, I agree with a lot of the points. The last thing about like sex being in private life, I think that all the things you're saying about like porn being harmful are objectively true. I don't think they're arguments to like. Okay, wait. I want to clarify. Are you arguing to like ban porn, or just like arguing that like porn is bad in general?
Porn is bad, and not to ban
Abolish
porn.
porn.
I think
I
she
think-
might
I'm
be for
asking
that,
for
but
Stephanie.
I believe in like free will. Like people can do whatever they want, but I'm not gonna agree with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I sort of get that.
Yeah.
But I'm just asking for Stephanie.
Ban porn, abolish porn.
Yeah.
I think the underage shit should definitely be banned, and they need better moderation for sure. Like
Okay.
I don't understand on Pornhub you can make an account and post videos without showing a driver's license
Exactly.
or social
Wait.
security. That's ridiculous. Like you can't get a job without
That
that. but
was
you-
my next point. Is that
Wow.
there's a lot of homemade. I'm doing air quotes right now. You can't
Yeah.
see it, but there's a lot of homemade.
amateur.
And all you and all you need to make an account on their site is like an email, and you could like lie by your age when making an email and all that jazz. And then after that, you could just post whatever you want. And so there's a lot of homemade stuff that contains minors, like lots of minors, like things that say like barely legal or like teen or like
Yeah.
not legal. They're really popular, and everyone always thinks, oh, they're actresses, can't be real. But even if it's not real, the fact that they have to put those in the title to lure people into watching those videos, it's just kind of nasty.
Yeah,
And then
definitely.
you never know if a homemade video, if it's like consented. You don't know if the person is drugged or under the influence. There's like no way to tell. They could be acting, it could be actually real. Again, acting drug, that's kind of nasty
Well,
because you're
Yeah.
like you're it's oh there's something about it. What's the
Okay.
word? I thought enabling, but that's not the right word.
I think that all these problems are true. I think banning porn will make things substantially worse.
yeah, go black
Um,
market.
I feel like the practices that you're complaining about, if pornography is like banned or made more like restricted, it will make like dark market pornography who have no ethics whatsoever be prevalent.
That's
So
a good
stuff like
point.
child trafficking and porn and stuff like that. Like you're not gonna see like Bang Bros or like some other major porn organization like advertising child pornography or
Right.
like like just like openly being okay with like rape and stuff like that. If pornography is banned, pornography is not gonna go away in the society that we're in.
Yeah.
I agree for stuff like the regulation, I think is complete garbage that you can just like post pornography without showing proof of age or like giving a name or something like that. That said, if Pornhub or any other site were today to make it so that you have to show your identity to post porn, they would lose like 95% of their traffic
Oh yeah.
because sex and porn in general is very taboo. That's what I think personally is the problem, at least with society like and what led up to this. I feel like in general, with the attitude that we have towards sexuality, it makes it so that like porn and sex is shameful, and when that's the case, you have shady practices that come into place. For example, if everybody were just completely okay with like the idea of like sex, right? There wouldn't be the idea of like, oh, you have to leave the industry because it wouldn't be a big deal if you were in the industry. You wouldn't like have any shame in like giving your name out, and there would be a lot easier to find victims because
Right.
most of the people there would be there willingly. Um, I feel like shit. Wait, let me. I was taking some notes. And I can't remember. Yeah, you go. With stuff like BDSM, I think that like yeah, it does sort of take away from the meaning from it and all that, but I feel like the idea you can have like sex be like important like emotionally in a relationship and stuff like that, but when it's like sort of like porn is your like first interaction with something sexual.
Right.
It's a shame that we're in like that would not be a problem in like 1860
Right.
when like pornography was incredibly hard to find. There wasn't like visual media like we do now.
Right.
But in society now, the thing is to do is not to ban porn, but to like educate children on like the risks of like porn addiction. Like tell them, like for example, it's like you don't see like kids thinking they can be like fucking superheroes and shit, and they can jump out of their like windows because we're willing to tell kids like when they like watch like super like cartoons or like TV shows or whatever, like that's not real. They're
Right.
educated to understand how society functions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Far too many kids even in the Western world, are not educated on sex.
Yeah.
A lot of kids, their first experience is through porn. And I think that is more society and the parents' fault than pornography.
Oh yeah.
I feel like harm would be significantly minimized if, like, for example, my dad was actually very good about this. Um, like I watched gay porn, obviously. The first time I got porn is like I snuck into like the movie shop, like like a little have like the little like back room
Right.
with like all the
Yeah.
nasty stuff. And I just like I knew where that was, so I just like went in and like got some random fucking porn and left. And my dad saw it, and he's like one day because I had like fucking left the DVD out like a dumbass, and he's like, "Hey, like, is that porn?" And I'm like, haha. And then he had a talk with me. It wasn't a talk like oh you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do that, whatever. It's more just like he explained to me just like sex in general. He was obviously not gay, so he asked some of his friends and he tried to just give me the best idea of like pornography and just sex in general. When I did go into porn, right? Like I did it for like money, but like I didn't have any like expectation of it being like magical or whatever. I did it because like it paid well.
Yeah.
But like I feel like in general, if more kids are taught like that, it pays off really well.
Right.
in the sense that when like porn isn't, it would be a better world if like we didn't have porn maybe,
Yeah.
but porn is sort of there. Like the best thing to do is just like at this
Yeah,
point the better thing to do is just to like try to teach
Moderate
people
it better.
properly about, or yeah, just try to teach people about how sexuality is correct or something, you know what I mean?
Right.
It's like I can watch like 10,000 like movie scenes of people getting shot and I'm not going to murder somebody because I know from society that's not right to do that.
Right.
Somebody who has not been taught much about like sex and like relationship and consent and something might think it's fine to like do something that's in a BDSM video without asking for permission. That isn't
Right.
okay. In cases that can be rape. That's not that's not something you should do.
yeah,
And that's not because like, oh, porn promotes rape like in the same way that like movies promote violence. Like people like seeing like shocking and hard stuff, but the important thing is knowing like that is like imagination. It's a fantasy. It's not real life.
Right.
I wish I could be like Rambo, just like fucking running around like killing people and
yeah.
shit. But like obviously I don't do that because in the society, our society is not shitty enough that like it's you can people aren't gonna know that it's not right to kill somebody.
I think that's the same argument for like video games. Like just because you play video games, you're gonna shoot people.
Right.
Yeah,
But
that's what I'm saying.
But
And
my
that's yeah.
problem with porn is it's like you talked about going and watching one DVD. Like you went to the Blockbuster and you got one thing. Nowadays, porn is not like that. You could watch like tons of people
Yeah.
do this, especially young kids. They will edge for hours
Yeah,
because
I
Yeah.
porn
agree.
is so accessible. So that's why like I feel like magazines like Playboy back in the day wasn't that damaging. Not many people got addicted to it. But
That's
now
true.
just because we have high-speed internet, it's so much worse.
Yeah, but I think that the fault lays more in society seeing something grow like that and just being like, oh, okay, whatever, and just like
Yeah.
continuing to push sex under the rug.
Yeah, I
Like,
agree. I think we
Wait, but
we like to ignore problems and not
also
Oh yeah.
care about the truth, you know?
about what you said earlier
Hmm?
about like it's just a fantasy. It's
Yeah.
like it's just fantasizing, but at least teach them it's not real. I feel like if people are still fantasizing about like kids or like rape, that's like even if they know it's not possible, I feel like they should still get help for that though.
oh, yeah,
Even
okay,
if they're
sure.
not like
Like for
doing
okay,
it.
somebody who, especially in the case of pedophilia, I actually am very for like support for pedophiles who don't act on their impulses. Child molesters are horrible people.
Right.
Pedophiles are people that I feel are mentally sick. I
Yeah.
feel like being attracted to a child, I feel like being attracted to like somebody significantly younger than you in general is not good. But like people that are like attracted to like very young children, that is a mental illness in my opinion. I feel like unfortunately,
There are some people
because of
who try to get help for it.
yeah, and it's
They
just
want to get better.
there isn't much help, and they also get like judged
Yeah.
really badly for something that they can't really control. They didn't choose to be a pedophile. If they act on their impulses, that's awful because like molesting or raping a child is one of the
Yeah.
worst things a human can do. But it is very unfortunate that we're in a situation where like something like that is just brushed under the rug.
Right.
Like it's sort of like I don't know, like I don't really have I have like conflicting views on like whether there should be like stuff like Lolicon or like child sex dolls or whatever. You can debate that all day whether it's better or worse for pedophiles, right? But like I think at the very least there should be like clinical help for people who want it, who want to try to cope with that and live a life without like temptation to molest children.
Right.
Yeah. Well, we've reached the end of my important points, and then there's
Yeah.
just other points at the bottom of my page,
Yeah, sure.
which I'll just list them off.
Okay.
There's a lot of things like necrophilia, bestiality, gore, pregnant porn, cheating porn, incest porn, scat,
Yeah.
and I didn't know how I was gonna fit all that in,
Yeah, sure.
like to make it flow smoother. So I feel like we should just go off them one by one.
Yeah,
Okay.
you know what I feel is funnily enough comparable to the porn, like porn in that sense, is drugs, right? And it's funny because they're like they both have like you can get addiction to them. But for example,
Escalation.
yeah, my view is that um like I don't think there's any country that's like handling drugs perfectly, but the countries I think are doing it best are places like Portugal or the Czech Republic,
Portugal.
where all drugs are decriminalized. Possession of drugs is illegal. Your drugs will be confiscated. You'll
Yeah.
be like seen like to see if you have addiction. If you have addiction, you'll be put into rehab, and they'll work with you to try to find the people like creating the drugs.
Right.
Like the drug dealers will get arrested. I feel
Right.
like that is a very good practice because, like, for example, right, like kids these days, right? Like I was talking to somebody who was like 17, and they had a Xanax addiction,
Okay.
and
Oh,
they did not actively seek Xanax. They were just smoking weed, but they were in an illegal state, and obviously they were underage. And their dealer offered them like free Xanax, like samples, and then they started liking it. They kept doing it, and then they had the addiction.
Yeah.
Like 3 months later, they would still occasionally get like withdrawal shakes, and that is incredibly
that's
fucked up to have
sad.
at that age. Yeah, what I'm saying is that the that girl never went in going thinking like, oh, I want to try Xanax. Xanax seems cool, you know. They wanted weed. For example, like something like alcohol. Alcohol is like you don't associate alcohol with like people that are like incredibly addicted and like doing awful things. Like you like of course you'll associate like, oh, you can, if you think about alcohol, think of like drunk people like fighting,
Right.
or like an alcoholic that's like wasting his life. But you'll also think of like, oh, you have a fun party, like, oh, like it's a cool thing. Pretty much everyone will get drunk at some point in their life. Like an overwhelming majority of people who will, unless they have like reasons not to, like religion or something like that. Weed is objectively less dangerous than alcohol in like most of those regards. Like you don't have somebody smoke too much weed and they start beating their wife or something. I'm not saying alcohol should
Right.
be banned. I'm saying that it's not reasonable that like you're not going to see somebody like go from drinking to like taking meth as easily as like going from weed to taking meth. And
Right.
that's just because weed is illegal. It's not because the idea of like gateway drugs is only a real concept in my eyes when drugs are illegal.
Okay. Yeah.
Alcohol isn't like really a gateway drug to anything in a sense. It's like you take weed and then like your friends are like, hey, you know, like you're like getting it from like a drug dealer, you're already like breaking the law or whatever. Like, hey, why not try something else?
Right.
I think most people don't think that when they try alcohol, they're like, hey, you know, I should try some coke, because that's just not an option that's there.
Yeah.
You don't walk into the liquor store and they're like, hey, you want some coke? If you can, in most cities, a dealer will do that. They'll be like, hey, you want some Zans or some coke or something, because they make more money off of like selling that as well. I feel like, so relating back to porn, I feel porn is similar in that regard because like it when something is like taboo or like something is like sort of pushed away and like people don't want to talk about it, you look this bad for doing it, you're already like sort of far in the cycle of like, oh, you're already like a bad person, why not keep going, you know
Oh
what I
yeah,
mean?
it's shameful, and then it's they won't people
Yeah,
won't talk about it.
yeah, like if you are like growing up in the mindset of like, hey, you know, like I like I don't know, like I'm turned on by like seeing girls in the shower or something, and like you're not able to talk without anyone because everyone's gonna think you're like a pervert degenerate. Then suddenly you're gonna be the guy who like starts searching for like you're more likely to be like the guy who starts searching for like real rape porn on the dark web to like satisfy that desire of like non-consensual stuff because like you're shamed for that.
Right.
I feel like there shouldn't be shame. I feel like anything that is legal between two consensual people should like um be out there, and I feel like there shouldn't be any shame around it. I feel like the idea of shame should come when somebody's doing something wrong. I feel like if the best thing we can do now in terms of porn and like porn addiction and just bad things that come from porn is like for the generations that are struggling with, and the future generations that are going to grow up with even more crazy options to porn, is to like give them a debriefing on porn like when they're like 9 or 10. And
Right.
a lot of people,
Yeah.
especially conservative people, will be like, what the fuck? I'm not gonna teach my fifth graders about like anal sex. I'm like, that's too bad. You should, because they're gonna figure it out 2 years later, and they're not gonna understand it. They're not gonna ask their
Yeah.
dad, hey, I watched some girl get fucked up the ass, what does that mean? You know, because that's awkward, that's weird in this society. They should know about that. It's an awkward moment, they don't like hearing about it, and then they move on, instead of just, because if you're learning like about, if you think, if you most of your learning about something that is very important in real life comes from something that is meant to be as pandering to fantasy as possible, making as much money as possible, and being like perfectly tailored to like somebody, it's not good.
Right.
Like it's very harmful.
Definitely. I agree with that somewhat. I think for as far as removing porn, like morally from my perspective, I think like from a linear view, we should. I don't like it existing, but by removing it, it's going to cause more problems than it existing. But I think regulating and definitely teaching kids more and more about how dangerous it can be is the best option. I absolutely hate the fact that it exists. Don't get me wrong, but just by like taking
Yeah, I
it,
think
yeah, that's a
I
very
think in a
good point.
perfect I think in a perfect world we wouldn't have drugs, we wouldn't have porn, and we wouldn't have a lot of things.
Right.
But we are not in the perfect world. And the
Exactly.
best way to get steps to that is just accept that there's these flaws, try to make it better, and then when it's better, maybe try to cut down on it. But
Exactly.
like if you keep acting like, oh, like porn is this like we can't talk about porn and shit like that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like when that if you were to do that, then porn's gonna keep growing because people are still they're gonna want to do it, and they're probably gonna
Right.
want to do it even more
Yeah.
because of like the taboo nature, like haha, I'm doing something I shouldn't be doing.
Right.
Also, LT, weed is not worse than alcohol, man. I don't know what to tell you. Like from a physical standpoint.
I live in California. I live in the place
Yeah.
to go to if you want weed in California. I'm born and raised
Yes.
here, and
Yeah.
in my personal experience, marijuana is more safer, and it makes you. It doesn't hurt as bad the next
Yeah.
day. It's better. It's
Yeah.
not good. It's better for you than alcohol.
I'm also
Especially.
I'm also
Oh,
thinking from like the standpoint of like somebody is less likely to like consume weed and then do some bad shit than alcohol.
Oh yeah, because alcohol numbs your like
Yeah,
control.
I mean, alcohol is like a drug that is like because it's so normalized for one, and because it has like effects that will like make you more aggressive in certain cases and stuff like that. Like alcohol causes a lot more problems.
yeah. Well, I'm not
There's
saying
yeah,
some things, some problems alcohol and weed both do have are a thing. They're both not, or weed's not some perfect fucking
yeah.
magical green
Oh no, I'm not I'm
thing.
not I'm
Yeah,
not praising weed. I'm
Well, I
yeah,
saying
mean,
that
you
I'm saying
use
as
both.
far yeah.
You can use both in kind of a healthy way, like a non-destructive way.
Yeah, they can be. I'm saying that I will never be like hey, people should take more weed. Like I'm not like
right,
I don't think that in general
right.
like you should be taking recreational drugs. But in society we are. That's something that is done. I feel like in that case like weed is not as bad as alcohol.
Yeah, there's
I'm
still
Yeah.
kind of lost.
we're talking about drugs. Welcome.
Yeah.
Hi.
So, one thing I wanted to point out about marijuana and the alcohol thingy. Marijuana can, in fact, make you a little bit more aggressive. Not when you just take it, but like it can worsen bipolar
That's true.
episodes.
Okay,
It's
if you that is true. I
Yeah,
actually do have bipolar disorder. I
I
can
was
speak to this from
diagnosed with it
experience.
too.
If you
So,
do, yeah, if you
yeah,
do
okay.
have like a mental disorder, drugs in general are not good for you.
Yeah, yeah, amen.
Weed,
That's pretty
yeah,
much it. Don't take shit
like
if your doctor's
weed
saying
can
no.
be bad too. Yeah, but
Yeah,
like if your doctor says no, like and you take them, you're not like the end of the world, but like you should like look out for it. You know what I mean?
should completely
Like
stop taking it.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, no, but I mean you should in theory, but I know that like people aren't perfect. You know what I mean?
yeah, of
I
course.
don't. In general, I've done some shit in my life. Like I'm not gonna be the person to say like, hey, like don't ever do drugs. I'm gonna be like, yeah, you might take drugs, but like you need. That's my thing. Is like I know people aren't gonna be perfect. I just want everyone to know what they're getting into.
Right,
Like I mostly knew what I was getting into with like sex and porn, thanks to my father because he was a good father in that regard.
right.
A lot of people aren't. A lot of
Yeah,
people who willingly do like stuff like in porn, like people who like willingly take drugs and get addicted, like do it because they were not educated. They didn't understand.
yeah, yeah. I agree with that. I think like we kind of have a like an obsession with marijuana, alcohol, and porn in our kind of society. I guess we have a lot of pleasure-seeking things.
I think porn's worse in some ways. Like it's more addicting.
It has
That shit,
less.
I'm so addictive, man. Like I am compulsive.
Yeah. Well,
And that's like a sign of real addiction, like being
yeah.
compulsive, where your rational brain just stops working.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, one thing.
Wait.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah. I was gonna say, LT, I see your point. I understand, but like alcohol can also like fuck up your liver, and it does kill you in the same way that like you can get cancer from smoking.
Yeah. Oh,
But yeah, anyways, but yeah.
Okay,
I
go
was
ahead.
just looking at chat, so that's the only reason I'm saying it. But we'll get back to your point. I'm sorry.
I forgot what I was gonna say. Oh, I remember. Okay, so the difference between like porn and other drugs is that it doesn't have any noticeable negative effects. Like you can't overdose on it, or like
On what?
porn.
Oh yeah, agreed.
And like if you consume it
I
every
think it's
single
more-
day, you get
It's
normal.
more,
dose.
yeah, it's more.
Yeah, it's worse. I mean,
It's more deceptive because
Yeah,
most people
yes,
be like,
yeah.
yeah, I shouldn't drink every day because obviously you're gonna feel like shit. But
right,
people don't think twice about using porn all the time.
right.
I think even if people used porn moderately, like once a month, it honestly wouldn't have that bad of effect. Even though you probably shouldn't do it because you have a chance
Yeah.
of getting addicted.
Yeah. So
But I mean,
in
people
general,
using it
yeah.
every day is horrible.
Yeah.
When people talk about drugs in general, you'll make like people generally talk about soft drugs and hard drugs, and people have wildly varying definitions on them. But mine is like a drug gets harder the more it is like physically addictive, or like no, or not even just physically addictive. Better word is where it is harder to use responsibly.
Okay.
For example, somebody who takes meth 3 times is like I don't know the stats, but I would wager that they are statistically more likely to die than to stop on their own.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If
I mean,
you,
it's for
or like
opioids.
or same for something like heroin, same for something like crack.
Right.
If you take it several times, like after once you start to like do it semi regularly, it will become regularly unless there's intervention from somebody else or you die.
Right.
That's the way it is. Something like weed is not like that. For example, you can get addicted to weed, but that's more of like the habit sort of thing of like, oh, I don't like not being high, or like I smoke all
Yeah.
the time when I'm sad, and that's an escape thing. So I think
Right.
weed is like one of the softest drugs, and like crack cocaine and heroin are some of the hardest drugs.
Right.
Porn and like drugs that aren't like things that aren't physical, like for example like food, or like some people that have like food addictions, you know, and they
Yeah.
overeat, or like they undereat, or like people, you can get addicted to anything that like releases dopamine in your brain. The issue is like how responsibly you can do it.
Right.
And the thing is, with the way porn is marketed and the way nobody talks about it, it's not that like looking at porn and like masturbating is like worse for you than like doing something else that makes you happy. The issue is that it is the whole industry is made to get you to watch as much as you can.
Yeah.
And all society just lets them do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't fully blame the industry, because like every industry
Well,
wants
it's
to
a
make
business.
money.
Yeah.
Everybody's going to try to make money. Like that's just how capitalism works. And I mostly blame society, because I feel like
Oh God.
like if Pornhub isn't gonna like have the market on porn, somebody else is. That's not gonna go away. If there's a niche, it's gonna be filled. The issue is when society is just like, yeah, we know that like the way porn is set up is fucked up and addictive, and we know that we can change it, but we're too uncomfortable with it because we don't like the idea of exposing kids to sex.
Right. I'm sorry. I'm having really bad allergies right now.
Yeah, it's okay. Don't worry about it, man.
I don't know if we brought this up already, but porn is definitely or we use this word. It's very escapist, just like any other drug.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. That's why people take drugs most of the time.
Yeah.
The two reasons are like to like make a fun time more fun, or to escape from problems. And most of the time, addiction comes from the second one. They're trying to escape problems.
I think they did some kind of study with rats or something.
Yeah.
Where they proved that it's hard for people that have a good mental health to get addicted to something. So if you have poor
Yeah.
mental health, you're way more likely to get addicted than someone that has good mental health, lots of friends.
Right.
I know the rat study, and the rat study gets a lot of shit because it wasn't done properly with like the scientific method. But the one I think I talk about the most when I bring up that point, because I agree with that point, is like World War I veterans who were like, it was like something like 33% of veterans were like
Yeah, we're on drugs.
taking opioids. Yeah,
And
like
they
they
Yeah.
came
were
back.
on like some. They came back and they weren't all doing great, but like there was a significantly less like of a drug problem than they thought they would have.
Yeah, only like 1% of them probably.
Yeah, because I don't know the stats. I'm not going to say these stats because I don't want to be wrong. But like I remember that like significantly less were because the drugs were directly an escape, and when that problem went away, it made it a lot easier to stop taking the drugs.
Mm-hmm.
Like in general, that's how it will go. Um, when you use something as an escape, it's like if it's not something that's like sustainable, it is very, very bad.
Right.
Or something that like can spiral, like porn can spiral out of control in a very bad way.
I think it
It can
does
happen
for
with literally anything. Like some people are
yeah.
addicted to like bodybuilding or like running or
Yeah,
some shit, right?
I
But
agree
like
with
that's
that.
it's not as common because it's not set up to fuel
That,
that.
but
Right.
porn, since it releases so much dopamine, because like sex is literally the most, it releases the most dopamine out of anything. Because food will release a little
Naturally.
bit, but
Yeah.
Yeah,
compared to sex, sex is the top. And the way they set up the website is they will have constant novelty, so you just see tons of females
yeah,
or whatever you're into, and that releases like a shit ton of dopamine. And the more
yeah.
dopamine it releases, the
What I'm
more addicted
saying is
you get.
that it's like for me, it's like I don't I feel the same way about porn industry doing that as something like Coca-Cola heavily marketing like sugar to kids and shit like that. Like I understand like I think the issue lies with like that is something that is okay to be done. That society deems it okay to like allow people who are in weak positions to like develop an addiction to something. I don't think sugar should be banned. I think sugar should be much more regulated than it is.
Or maybe not
And
regular,
yeah,
just awareness.
or
People
yeah,
need.
awareness and regular, either one. The idea
Or
that like, yeah,
I think
the
the
idea
root
that
cause is
it's
mental health.
normal to like give your 7-year-old kid Coke like to drink for lunch is not normal. That is not a good thing to happen when that product is literally designed, or any product that is like for pleasure consumption is literally designed to be as pleasurable as possible, which leads to addiction. You can't get sugar addiction.
Right.
We should not as a society let that happen, where a product can be consumed to excess and people like normalize it,
Right.
or either normalize it or just let it slide. I think normalizing is even worse. Like that's why I'm not saying like, oh yeah, we should be like, oh everyone should like consume as much porn as they want and encourage it, because that's not a good idea. That's what we did with stuff like sugar. But
Yeah.
like the idea of like the other extreme doesn't work either, of just saying like, oh, we need to
Not
ban
talking
porn and
about
stuff
it.
like that, because then people are just gonna still do it, and then they're gonna be hurt more from it. So like when people talk about like fat acceptance because they have like an eating disorder, like I think that's bullshit. But I also think it would be bullshit to I don't fucking know what they're gonna do, you know? I think that like companies like McDonald's or Pornhub or Coca-Cola or whatever that sell like legal stuff that lead to addiction are they even like drug dealers. I think that they're bad, but they're not the biggest villains in the story,
Right.
in my opinion. Like I feel like they're like bad, like they're like strong capitalists, which is not like you can disagree with that,
Right.
but that's because of society. Like they're encouraged to do that by society because that's money is good and that's what makes them money.
Right. So I'm going to apologize right now for the future. I'm having a really bad allergy attack, and I cannot fucking focus right now. I have no idea what's
Yeah,
fucking
don't worry.
going on. I'm
Bro,
spacing out
take
so
some
bad.
Claritin.
It's okay.
I don't want to leave the stream alone. Like I don't know. Just fucking. Let's just continue. Never mind.
You're a real champion, man.
It's funny you
We
say
don't
that. I'm having
appreciate
short-term memory loss. I'm having short-term memory loss from other stuff.
I don't know if you can see my
So I'm not in the best
my
mental.
fucking my video right now, but my eyes are swelling up. My nose hurts.
Yeah, I
I'm
can
having
see, and
trouble
your nose
breathing.
is like twitching. It's like kind of inflated. Yeah, I see.
Yeah,
Don't worry, man. You'll be okay.
I'll be fine. Yeah, I don't know if you guys can see
Yeah.
it, but I have a gas mask in the back that I have to wear if it gets really bad.
That's pretty funny.
It's not that bad. Yeah, but let's continue on with I forgot what was the topic. What were we saying?
Oh yeah, it's just like how I feel like the porn industry like is not like the biggest villain. I think the biggest villain is like
It's a piece
sort
of
of
the
us
puzzle.
society allowing it that. It's a piece of the puzzle, sure.
Yeah.
But I'm saying that the first person to attack is not the porn like industry.
Right.
The first like thing to change is like to change society.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you get rid of the porn industry, porn is still going to be around.
Right.
And like maybe less people will be exposed to it, but the people who do get exposed to it are much more likely to get heavily addicted.
Right.
You know?
Right. Oh, I just realized.
Yeah.
Two people hopped in the chat, in the voice chat. I know James has been waiting here patiently
Yeah.
for a long time, trying to say something. So James, let's take a few minutes or a section of time out to let you say what you wanted to say. James, go
I thought his
ahead.
mic was broken, but okay.
Is it? I don't know.
Yeah.
Fuck.
He said he wanted to do the podcast, but he was at his like grandparents' house and the mic
He-
sucked or something.
I thought he was at work. I don't know. What about you, beard man? Profile picture.
Man,
Yeah, you.
Chris
go
Soof.
by God King or my Lord.
Oh, jeez.
Wait, are we against jerking off here? Is
Yeah.
that what this is about? Sorry, I'm really new to this. I literally just found out that I was supposed to be joining the podcast 30 minutes ago.
What?
Well, less than.
Whose
so,
friend
yeah.
is this?
Are you like active on the server?
God
or that's-
fucking
that's
damn it,
weird.
I'm
Undra.
friend.
Do you want to know the funniest shit ever? So I'm
Where'd
a
he
friend.
come from?
So here's the thing. Andra has known me for a little bit, and he recently got in contact with me. 10 minutes ago, he says to me, "Hey, we showed on some people for this podcast. Do you want to be a part of it?" Now I'm in bed with my girlfriend. I'm like, "Sure, no worries." He's like, "Yeah, here's the example of what the podcast's like," and I see, "No fap." I'm like, "Okay, sure. When is it? 30 to 40 minutes." Oh wait, they're streaming now. So, and here I am.
God fucking damn it, Undra.
It was pretty funny that you just like stumbled in here.
I'm happy to be here. I feel very lost, but
Well, fuck it.
Yeah,
Welcome.
don't worry.
This is a shitty
Alright.
stream as usual, but fuck it.
I feel welcome.
Yeah, I'm not actually going to work tomorrow, so I can just do this for as long as you guys want. Like, if you find me interesting, I will stay here and talk about stuff.
We can do it for a little bit extra. I got
Yeah,
some
no worries.
adventuring to get ready for, but
Yeah, sure.
so well, let's see. What's your name?
Or you guys
English?
can do like you can do like AMA, like you can just ask me whatever you want.
Okay, yeah. Oh, fuck, that's a good idea. But hold up, crew
Yeah.
stuff, crew stiff.
Crucive.
You wanna crucif? Oh fucking hell! You wanna introduce yourself? To the
Sure,
stream. Give a little
Crucive,
background with
what-
no fat or whatever.
Sure. Washed up voice actor, washed up stream, washed up YouTuber. Jerk off all the time. I think it's a good thing. I don't know. I'm here. I guess.
Bro, Andra.
Undra, what the fuck? What did you bring in for this?
I like him.
Thank you.
He seems nice. It's just-
Bro, you should be a voice actor.
he seems nice. It's just very weird that he's on this podcast.
So Lena Rhodes creeping up the the porn actress ladder there.
Okay, sorry, I want to add, James pinged me and said, please talk about the arm job. James, this is not the stream for that. This is not the podcast. We're going to be talking about that.
No.
Oh, God.
You understand that this podcast is supposed to it's supposed to be more serious. This is not me getting drunk with you, James, and ranting about like porn shits I've done.
James.
It's a
What the
porn
fuck, bud?
Oh, there we go.
All right. This is
I
not.
can't tell. Knowing
This is not a
James,
meme.
it might not be a joke. Like I
This is
genuinely
not
feel
a
like he
meme.
might just be like, yeah, you should. That's the perfect time to talk about like hardcore sex, and just like joke about it. Is now. I do that with you because like I get drunk and it's fun to talk to you about stuff like that. I'm not doing this for the fucking podcast.
I'm doing this for the passion that I have.
The
about this
passion.
topic. Yeah.
Alright.
I developed like 10 minutes ago.
Jesus Christ, James. Oh, my internet is like
You guys come here often?
Yeah.
every once in a while.
Every once in a while? That's pretty cool.
I got all the way to admin role by being retarded in the server for
Hey,
about
what's
8
going?
months now, give or take.
Hmm. I can be more active in general. I just really haven't been because like it wasn't as interesting. But like it's cool to talk to you guys. Like in general, I'm happy to do with chess.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
I'm really active.
I've never seen you once.
What?
Literally, I have not had an interaction with you before today. And there was like a span of a week where I was on here like 4 hours a day.
I know you guys are in different time zones.
That's true. I'm in Europe.
Yeah. Oop, tarp left.
I'm a nasty, disgusting little American.
Wait, where about?
What?
I used to be in Middle America.
I think she's in California. I'm not positive.
That's not mid. How's that Middle America?
I don't. Is that what she
I
said?
didn't say Middle America. I said I'm just American.
Oh, I heard Middle America. I was like, how the fuck is
I'm
California
nasty
Middle America?
little American. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Tea throwers.
Yeah.
So
Californian. It's sad.
you're in the southern part, right?
Uh.
You could just give us a
I'm
general
like-
bearing.
What's your zip code?
How bad's the fire? How bad's the fire? Let's just gauge off
It's not
that.
that bad.
Okay,
The skies are like a grayish blue.
that's normal, I think.
Wait,
Shit's
LT.
orange.
Okay, now I'm reading general chat because nobody's fucking using
Orange.
the YouTube chat.
Yeah.
When did we start bashing religion? What happened?
What?
I don't remember ever talking about religion.
Yeah, someone brought up religion.
Oh, that's just in the general chat. Okay, yeah, I thought we in like the podcast were talking about religion. I was like, when was that? Okay, good. No, because he said like focus on podcast topic. I was like, what? I thought we were like talking about religion
Yeah,
for no
no.
reason. I got confused.
So
Yeah,
okay. So we've highlighted and discussed the porn industry, the bad things that go
Yeah.
on, what leads to bad behaviors from it. Have we
Yeah.
highlighted or discussed the actual bad aspects, the things that it gives us, the negative effects that it brings onto us? Have we discussed that?
Can you be more specific? I'm
Like
confused.
the effects of porn addiction. Like what exactly what does that do to someone mentally? Or and physically?
God. I feel like porn addiction makes
I mean, physically, I
male-
think it's just like anything that like releases dopamine. It's like you like, yeah, it's like you'll look forward to like masturbating because like that's something that'll make you happy, especially if you're in a situation where you're not that happy.
Right.
Those are like the times where you know for a fact that if you do this, you will get a burst of happiness.
Right.
However, when you like do release like happy chemicals, you don't have as much later, so you'll feel worse after, and it's sort of a cycle, especially if you're not doing well in the first place.
Right.
I feel like in general, with just like anything that like releases happy chemicals in your brain, it's sort of that. Like the addiction will be like you'll think about it like way too often. It'll
Right.
get in the way of like life because like that's where you get your happiness from, and it's very hard to find in other places.
Right.
Eventually,
Someone-
get numb to it, like any addiction, right? It
Yeah.
doesn't. It's not like thrilling anymore. People just jack off. They feel like a brief rush of pleasure, and that's like they feel like shit. And that's at that point, it's hard to get out of.
Right.
Because like your normal feeling is shit, and that makes you feel normal, and then it just keeps going like that. That's how drugs and addictions in general work.
Right. Someone in chat said, it gives a false sense of comfort. Don C said that. Which-
Someone in chat also said, "Are female porn stars size queens?" And that person in chat should stop saying that, James.
I don't even know what that fucking word was, but alright. Okay, so the actual physical effects of ejaculating multiple times a day are, at least in my opinion, fucking massive. For example, it lowers your testosterone, your body focuses more on production, like making more semen. that will be fucking came into a sock and thrown under your bed for a fucking week.
Yeah, I
Is
think
that
I
what
think
you do?
objectively, like
I mean, not anymore.
I feel like objectively, masturbating or like having non-fulfilling sex many times a day both
Right.
leads to you being tired, you associating those things with happiness over other things.
Right.
Because like it's hard to work in like 4 masturbation sessions in a day while also like being productive.
Right.
At least as productive as you can be.
Right.
Not a good thing.
Lost again.
I'm lagging. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, I lagged. I said in general it's not a good thing. I just objectively it's not good to be like dependent on pornography or masturbation.
Right.
Do we think that some people it's okay for them to jerk off or have sex multiple times a day? But for
Oh,
some
dude,
people,
like
it isn't?
I am pro like masturbation and sex like if you manage it properly.
Okay.
Like
Yeah. Yep.
in the
What do
same
we
way
mean
like
by manage it
for
properly?
example, right?
Hmm.
Most people on this like many people on the server will say like I'm not masturbating because I want to like have a better like real sex life, for example.
Right.
Like most people, like a lot of people on the server are not against sex. They like the idea of sex. I think sex is good. That said, there are people who are addicted to sex. Like there
Oh yeah.
are like people who have like casual, like they just spend their whole day having casual sex. That's not fulfilling. It's shitty.
Hypersexual.
Yeah.
Those people have a problem.
Sure, I get it.
Somebody who like pays for like a hooker like 2 times a day, or like a girl who like goes to like a bar like every night to have sex like nonstop, like that's not a good thing in general.
Sure,
Right.
so
I
we're
feel like
also
yeah,
are we also against then? We're against drugs here and stuff too. Then I'm assuming.
I mean,
I'm
it
not
depends.
particularly against drugs. Yeah.
Well, I
Yeah,
mean,
I think
is it okay to take drugs for pleasure? Is I guess what I'm
I
getting
think I think it's okay to do anything for pleasure as long as it doesn't hurt someone else or like you get dependent on it. For example, if there was some guy who was able to prove to me that he could do heroin regularly while also being completely functional, that isn't the thing, like obviously. But if that were the case, I'd be like, okay, you can do heroin. My
Sure, so
stand is like, don't take heroin, don't take meth, don't take crack, because almost everybody who does gets serious problems from it. I
well,
think
Right.
that
yeah,
yeah,
sure. I don't know if
if
that's
some
true,
yeah
but so what we're saying is you
yeah,
shouldn't masturbate if you're prone to becoming addicted to
or
masturbation.
not even that, you should just like you shouldn't engage in addictive behavior.
Addictive behavior.
You should have yeah, like you should have for example, in an ideal world, like I feel like you should have people around you noticing your addictive behavior and yourself doing it. Like it should when you have things like drugs, you need to like hide drugs. It's going to be a lot harder for like your dad or your friend or something to be like, hey, I think you've been taking too much cocaine. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like
Okay.
everybody tries to hide. Like for example, it's possible to like take cocaine and function. That is possible. There are a lot of people who don't, but there are people who functionally take cocaine even though cocaine is addictive.
I'm pretty sure most people
That yeah.
function while taking cocaine. It's
Yeah,
kind of hard not to
that's
function while taking
no.
cocaine.
I
But
mean like in like the whole period, like taking and like afterwards. You know what I mean?
sure,
I mean
sure,
like
sure. You did like the
it's
come down, the
possible. It's
crashing.
possible. Yeah, it's possible to live a life that you're happy with and fulfilled with while taking cocaine. The issue is that like if you get addicted to it, you're like nobody is like very few people are like openly using cocaine. Very few
Right.
people are like
Well, it's
openly
illegal.
like yeah, exactly. Or like
Yeah.
so as a result, or even if there's like stigma, like very few people are gonna show that. And when like as a result, it makes it much harder to know when there's an addiction, right?
Right.
I don't. I'm not sure about that. I mean, I'm pretty sure you know when you have an addiction to cocaine, right? Or any drug. I guess what I'm
Okay, then
getting.
do you want me to say like accept it? Because like the thing is like I I feel like in a world where like everybody was completely open with like how they use porn or something like that, and they just talked about it. Like if my friend were to tell me like, yeah, you know, like I jacked
I
off five
feel
times
like
last night,
how
no,
to
like I'm like,
find
dude, is that
out.
normal?
I,
Yeah.
I feel like how to find out if you're addicted to porn or not is when you physically cannot get off without it. Cause I
Yeah.
knew some people who were like that, and they actually couldn't get off without it. And it's like
I I
was
completely
one of
disagree. I think it happens earlier. I don't think that's the threshold. I think you can be addicted and not have that problem. I think
It,
for me, addiction, yeah, addiction starts when it starts getting in the way of your life, like whatsoever. So that can be like different for anybody. It can be like somebody who like leaves the classroom to go jack off, in my opinion, is at least somewhat addicted to masturbation.
Yeah.
Somebody who like takes like 2 shots before work, or like is like smoking weed all day, like at work, like in the bathroom or something. I think that's a type of addiction. I feel like
Sure,
addiction
sure.
happens when it interferes with like a normal life.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So what we're saying is like addiction to masturbation is wrong or bad.
Yeah, I think that there should not be any form of addiction to anything in this world. And I feel like the best way of doing that is not to like demonize the thing that like people are addicted to, but like give resources to the people there, and like as a society try to like educate people on all the things that can be addicted. Like
Mm-hmm.
be there in solidarity if somebody tells you like, oh yeah, dude, like I fucking jack off all the time, I don't know what to do, like I feel like shit. Not be like called some like fucking like loser nerd or something. Like people,
Sure.
I understand, like people like I wait. Yeah, actually,
Fap,
from what I
fap
remember, I think,
acceptance.
yeah, I think, funnily enough, I was sent to the server as a joke. Like somebody was like, "Hey, dude, they have a
I'm
huge
starting to
ass,
think the same thing happened
yeah,
to me.
yeah, like they have this huge ass like
The fuck
server
is this?
of people who are like anti-porn and anti-cumming or whatever." And I was like, "Oh, I want to check that out." And I talked to people, and I was like, "Oh, this is actually pretty interesting." And I think the issue is like, I feel like this server is a good thing. I feel like when people like demonize like I know I like joke about like Coomers and stuff. When people like demonize people who jack off or stuff like that, or like try to make them feel better, I don't think that's the right thing to do. I
Right.
think that I understand why it happens, because it sucks to feel like you have like a serious problem, and people
Right.
are like making fun of it and they're not giving it attention. I feel like any problem should be like that. Whether you're addicted to food, whether you're addicted to masturbation, whether you're addicted to crack cocaine, you should
Right.
be viewed as like a victim of like an addictive product and be helped.
Right. That that
Yeah.
that kind of perspective does happen a lot. It is kind of a common one too. One thing that I at least I've felt with the Coomer meme and that sort of addiction
Yeah,
shaming, I guess, is it's kind of elevating in a sense. It's like you're reinforcing improvement with shame. Like yeah, people would take like the Coomer meme and you see him with the big fucking arm and like everything else is shriveled up. That's
yeah,
kind of that's
yeah, yeah,
that's
yeah.
that
It is
seems it's
funny.
like
Go
it's an
on.
exaggeration of what people feel,
Hmm.
if that makes sense. It's an
Yeah,
exaggeration. Like they feel like they're fucking like deformed from it, or
yeah,
it's like they spent like the meme is the dude like Coombs all day. That's his thing.
yeah,
They feel like maybe it's binging, like they're binging on it, and they're highlighting. It's
yeah,
like he's like a list of all the shit
yeah,
that an addiction embodies, and they're like
yeah,
the only thing different about like the meme and like maybe
yeah,
like an educational thing is the context. Like
yeah.
it's put into humor, and
I
that's what
know,
it
and
is.
I
Yeah.
understand that, and I understand that it does make people feel better about themselves, and it's a good
Right.
thing. But I'm saying that if you were to swap masturbation with like almost anything else, like most people would see it as fucked up, and like as they should. For example, like if you were in like rehab for like Alcoholics Anonymous, and you start joking about like, oh, fucking loser, like getting drunk every night, look at him,
Right.
he's a fucking drinker. Like they'd be like, that's not cool, that's not the right way of doing things. I understand that it's humor, but like I
Right.
feel like I've seen, as great of an environment as this place can be, and as much like help as people have gotten, I see way more like people going in and being like, "Oh, haha, you guys are fucking idiot nerds. Like, you think not coming gives you superpowers or whatever,"
Right.
and like stuff like that. And like, there's more like animosity between the two people. If a random person goes on a server for like people that are like suffering from like meth addiction, you're
Mm-hmm.
not gonna see them just like laugh at them, because it's a very sad place to be, and they're all
Yeah.
trying to help each other and recover.
Yeah.
Or like, yeah, I just don't like, or like for example, or like even if you want to think about something highly addictive, for something like a form for people like anorexia, people are like laughing about like, oh haha, you threw up your food again, dumbass, you know.
Right. Right.
Like I think that
Anorexia.
like, yeah,
Anorexics don't purge their foods. Like,
bulimia, anorexia, just eating disorders in general, I'm sorry. with bulimia, you do. And a lot of people that are anorexic are bulimia. I should not have roped the two together, but most of the forms I have seen for eating disorder, self-harm reduction, eating disorder harm reduction were for people with anorexia and bulimia.
Right.
Sure. There's also we should differentiate between there's masturbating a lot and then there's addiction to masturbation. Right.
Yeah.
Two completely separate things. One's unhealthy.
Sure.
One shouldn't be demonized. The other one is fairly healthy.
And the thing is, though,
fine.
it's hard to. Everybody's threshold for being addicted is different, I think. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like some people, like, and it's like that with anything. Like, some people can, like, eat a Big Mac every day and then, like, not be, like, fine. Or they eat McDonald's every day and they're just, like, fucking dumbasses, losers, but they're not addicted to the food. They just do that because they're lazy or something. And then some people who, like, are legitimately addicted to, like, fast food and, like, it affects their life really badly. I think it's like when you say like, yeah, it's not like jerking off frequently, it's like having a problem with it. I agree, but I feel like everyone who like jerks off frequently or does too much of like a habit that makes you happy frequently should be like looked out for.
Right.
Like, because at worst, like they get slightly offended, like, oh, you think I have a problem with smoking or like or drinking or masturbation or whatever. But like at best, you help somebody. I feel like that should be the stance. Like we should all just try to look out for like excessive behavior.
Sure, yeah.
And we
If
should
the
also be
behavior
supportive,
negatively
yeah.
affects your life, sure.
Yeah.
But otherwise, I mean, do whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah, again, that's what I feel for anything that gives you pleasure. But just like I feel that society has done a very bad job of teaching people moderation in that regard and like helping people that actually have problems.
Right.
Whether it's drugs, whether it's masturbation, whether it's sugary foods, whatever it is.
Yeah, sure. The mental health support system worldwide is pretty
Yeah.
horrific.
Oh yeah, definitely in the United States, it's fucking horrible here to get help
Yeah,
with
it's everywhere.
anyone
Yeah.
or anything. I mean, yeah. Well, shit, guys. I think we're out of time for right now.
I think you're being a pussy. I think we got more time.
No, I'm pretty sure we're at.
I think we got more time.
You know what? I'm gonna make my own YouTube account. The YouTube accounts can be called Cooler AntiFap, and we're gonna
Cooler.
continue the podcast for 4 hours. It's gonna happen.
I mean, if
I'm gonna
we need
create an-
we
I'm
need
gonna
someone
create
to
a
host.
competitive podcast called ProFap.
Yeah.
And we're gonna be your number one competitors.
But okay. So for the future, I can't host anymore. I might be able to. I'm actually going on a like cross country road trip. Be like living out of my car.
Miles is abandoning us.
Yeah.
We're
Yeah, that's
orphans
fine.
I'll be
now.
active in the
Fucking
Discord.
blame him.
But I'll be a hobo.
Running away.
I'm running
Backing up
away.
the car, just fucking go.
Just fucking leaving.
I'll be
To
on
right into the sunset.
any future
He's
podcast on
running
the
from the
server that
car.
I'm invited to. Like I will attend unless I have some obligation.
Right. But
I probably shouldn't host because like I'm not really like directly in any position on the server. But like for example, like yeah. Hey, don't worry. If you're okay with like just like giving like the account to like Undra or like James or something, and they just make sure that we're still there or something. I can keep
Give it
talking.
to
Like,
Undra.
I am happy to do it.
Give
If
it
people
down
are
to
still
that's a good
viewing
idea.
or whatever, I don't fucking know, but like
You just put a random in here after like 10 minutes. I don't know what the fuck. It's the first time I've ever seen this server. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing here, dude. Yeah, give it to Andra. That's a good idea.
okay, maybe okay, but anyways, just like as long as people are viewing and as long as people are talking to me, like I will be happy to be here.
okay, yeah. I might be able to host, but I'll be on a fucking phone hotspot on a 2011 MacBook in the middle of fucking nowhere. So
Yeah,
I don't think
not
that's
good, yeah.
reliable. Yeah.
Yeah, it'll suck for a stream. Yeah.
All right. But I think this was a fairly well podcast, better than our other ones. Maybe not health-wise for me, but in every other aspect. But yeah, anyone else in the server staff, please fucking host for me. I can't do this. I won't be able to do it forever. Do we have any closing statements from everyone?
Brother, someone in chat just said, bro, you gotta stop saying like so much.
Me?
It's getting excessive. No,
Well,
so
why?
said this to her.
I'm not like doing like a public speech thing. It's just a podcast. I'm here. I'm like slightly drunk and high.
Oh,
Why do I care? If I were giving a speech, if I were having a debate or something, and it was really serious, I would stop. I can do it
Right.
right now. I'm not saying like as much. Instead of doing pauses, I'm thinking, and I seem more, I don't know, put together.
I think you might have an
But
addiction,
that takes
Revolver.
effort. That takes effort. I don't want to
You
do
ever
it.
considered that?
I say
Actually,
right
you
every
Stop
5
whenever
seconds.
you want to, but it doesn't sound like it.
Fuck.
I think you
Wait,
might need
really?
help, brother. I'm here for you.
No. Okay.
You
Then how
got
about
this,
this?
Revolver.
I
I
got you, dude.
How about
It's
believe
this?
in
okay.
How
you.
about this? How about this? We set a timer. If I say the word like as a
failed.
filler word, we didn't start yet. You fucking Dylan. Okay, listen.
You just stop stalking.
This is a challenge, right? If for 3 minutes I use like as any word, then can you stop? If I use that word as a filler word, as a replacement to like something like that, then I fail.
Just say the N word instead every single time. It's a good
I don't know
replacement.
if I can do that on podcast. I'll be honest with you.
We'll have to do that next podcast because I have to attend to things today.
Rate everyone's N words. You know,
Yeah,
Yeah.
who says
to
it the
attend
best,
thing.
who
You
spits
could-
it the hardest.
Gonna
I have-
fucking go to bed and just sleep.
I have to do things like take medicine and not die from allergies.
Pussy.
You could have taken medicine during the podcast.
I
Do some fucking push-ups or something.
No one wants to say that.
Walk it off, bitch.
Yeah, dude, take some opioids.
yeah, I'll go take some opioids from Doctor. I almost said a.
You guys better be tracking if I say the no word.
no
I'll throw a
word.
point here.
The similar word. All right.
God, my ping is 4,000. Help.
Do we have any other closing statements?
Yeah, I've been
James.
jerking off this entire time.
Oh
Nice.
shit, dude, nice.
I'm done.
He's done.
Let's go.
Persephone.
Hi. I just want to leave.
Wants to leave. This is a
There's
good
so many
stream.
questions I for Revolver, but I'm not allowed to ask them apparently.
You're gonna have to wait till next. Keep questions. We should probably figure that out. I'm talking too much. I'm gonna end the stream. All right. God bless. Eat your vitamins. Don't masturbate or do if that. I don't fucking know. All right.
Would
And
you want
gonna
to
have to
bust in
accept
this
the
5
reality
minutes
of my
steak,
life.
Coke?
I don't fucking know. I need medicine now.
Don't do it, man. Don't
All
do
right. The
it.
stream's down. God bless.
No.
She's dead. Rest in peace.